I want you to try a thought experiment with me. Close your eyes for a second, unless you're driving, obviously.
Okay, I'm with you.
Imagine you're walking down a city street, but something is off. Something's wrong with the physics of the place.
Wrong how?
You aren't walking because you chose to. You're walking because the asphalt underneath you is actually moving. It's pulsing, like a very slow, deep heartbeat.
That is immediately unsettling. The ground is alive.
And it gets stranger. The buildings, they aren't static. They're leaning in toward the center of the street, almost like they're whispering to each other across the gap.
Whispering.
Yeah. And the vibe isn't that the city is sleeping. It feels more like the city is holding its breath, just waiting for something.
Okay, that's a very visceral description. It sounds like a fever dream where the geometry just doesn't add up.
It has that exact logic to it. But here's the thing. It doesn't feel like a nightmare, not in a scary way. It feels, significant. It feels like a space where loneliness might take root.
Loneliness. I think you're onto something. The way you describe it, this place sounds less like a location and more like a psychological map. A metaphor for the psyche.
A map. I like that.
And if it's a map, it's one showing us how we build these massive invisible walls to keep ourselves safe, but also, to keep people out.
Walls we build. That's the key, because at first it feels like you're trapped in this maze. But the more I think about it, the more it feels like, well, maybe we're the architects.
Exactly. This isn't a prison someone else built for you. It's a fortress you built for yourself.
So let's walk through it. The sensory details are just dripping with atmosphere. The light coming from the blinds, for instance, it wasn't yellow, it was the bruised gold of a memory you cannot place.
Bruised gold. That suggests something valuable, but damaged.
And the sound, or the lack of it, there's a street lamp that hums one note lower than silence.
That phrase, that really stopped me. One note lower than silence. It implies a vibration, a presence you feel in your teeth, not one you hear with your ears. And this is the key detail, I think. The sound. There's no echo.
No echo. Okay, let's pause on that. Because in the real world, physics demands an echo. Right?
It demands an answer. If you shout in an empty alleyway, the sound waves hit the brick and stone, they fracture and they bounce back. The world answers you. But here, you're saying the pavement just swallows the sound.
It's like being in a professional sound booth. It just deadens the air. It makes me feel invisible.
Invisible, or maybe just ignored. But what if it's something else? What if the lack of an echo means the city isn't passive, it's not dead? What if it's empty because it is listening?
Listening.
Yes. Think about it. When you're trying to eavesdrop, you go dead silent. You hold your breath. Maybe every window is an eyelid half closed, and every door is a mouth waiting to speak. The emptiness isn't a void. It's a form of attention.
Okay, that's actually kind of creepy. Why would a dream about loneliness feature a city that's hyper-focused on you?
Because that's what chronic loneliness often feels like. We think of it as just being alone, but psychologically, it can come with hypervigilance. You're constantly scanning for threat, for rejection, for judgment. You feel watched, even when no one is there.
So the silence is heavy because it's a judgmental silence.
Precisely. The city is manifesting that social anxiety.
Man. Okay, so you're walking through this judgmental silence, and you turn a corner into a square. There's a fountain, but it's dry, filled with dead leaves, and they're arranged in these perfect geometric circles. And in the center, a statue.
The statue. Tell me about the statue.
It's a woman with no face and her arms are outstretched. My first thought was, oh, she's welcoming me. She wants a hug. But no, that's not the feeling at all.
What is the feeling?
The feeling is that she is arrested in the act of reaching. She isn't offering an embrace. She's frozen in that split second of needing one.
That's a subtle difference, but it changes everything.
It really does.
She isn't a provider of comfort. She's a mirror of your own need. She's the physical form of that question we all carry around from childhood. What if no one comes to meet my hands halfway?
What if no one comes to meet your hands halfway? God, that's the nightmare scenario for any relationship, isn't it?
It is. And we see it all the time. It's the text message you sent that says read, but has no reply. It's saying, I love you first, and getting a thank you back. That statue is the terror of unreciprocated connection, of reaching out and touching nothing but air.
So this whole place is built on the memory of that specific rejection.
And because you're so afraid of that rejection, of that unmet hand, the city is populated by things that guarantee you'll never have to risk it again.
Which brings us to the inhabitants, or, well, the lack of them. You walk past shop windies and they're full of mannequins, but they aren't dressed to sell anything, they're just standing there. in these attitudes of waiting.
They're pure receptacle.
Receptacle for what?
For projection. Think about it. Real people are messy. They have bad moods, they misunderstand you, they have their own needs. A mannequin, though. A mannequin is a blank slate. You can project whatever you want onto it.
So they represent the idea of a person, not a real one.
Exactly. It's the negative imprint of presence. It's like the warmth left in a room after someone leaves. It is so much safer to be in love with the idea of someone or the memory of someone than to deal with the messy reality of a human being.
That hits home. I mean, how many of us hold a torch for an ex just because the fantasy is safer than meeting someone new who might actually hurt us?
That is the safety this city offers. It tells you if you stick with the mannequins, you'll never be disappointed.
But there is one living thing, a cat.
Ah, yes. The creature of the threshold.
It's not a pet, not really. It drinks from a puddle that wasn't there a moment ago, and his eye holds this knowledge older than fear. What is the cat doing there?
The cat is your intuition. Cats are liminal creatures. They walk between worlds. In this psychological map, the cat is the part of you that knows the truth. It knows this emptiness isn't actually dangerous, it's just empty. The cat isn't scared. It's a witness.
The one tethered to reality.
Yes, and it leads you to notice what you call the cruelest kindness of the city. Finding a cup on a windowsill that's still warm, or a door opening to the smell of baking bread. But when you look, no one is there.
It feels like gaslighting, like the city is teasing you with comfort it won't give you.
I don't think it's teasing, I think it's a museum. The city is preserving the shape of connection. It's showing you that you carry the ghosts of these past comforts. The warmth proves someone was there. The city is saying, you are capable of connection, you just aren't doing it right now.
Okay, so we have the setting, we have the ghosts. Now I want to get to the why, because this is where it all just clicked for me. You climb these stairs to a floating window, you look down at the map of the city, and it's not a grid.
No, it's a spiral.
It coils inward, towards a perfect circle of nothing.
And this is the turning point. This isn't just about being alone. It's a forensic analysis of how you became alone. There's a word for this. It's so clinical, but so devastating.
Okay.
Evacuation.
Evacuate.
Not abandonment. Abandonment is something that happens to you. Evacuation is something you do.
That implies I chose this, that I pulled the fire alarm and cleared the building myself.
Correct. This is the geometry of avoidance. You never walk straight here. Every corner is a deflection. The entire city was designed by you to avoid the cold draft of rejection.
But why? Why build a maze to keep myself lonely?
To protect yourself from a door slamming in your face. If you walk in a spiral, you never have to face the center. You just keep moving. It's the architectural version of changing the subject when things get too real.
And this goes all the way back to childhood, doesn't it? To the lap.
The lap, the first geography you ever knew. The place of absolute safety where you don't even know where you end and your parent begins.
But then there's a shift. The moment the lap becomes a surface, you are expected to leave.
The trauma of independence. And we're not necessarily talking about abuse. We're talking about the universal moment where you realize you're a separate person and you learn a terrifying lesson. To stay is to be asked to leave.
To stay is to be asked to leave.
Think about it. If I stay in this comfort too long, eventually I'll be put down. I'll be dismissed. I'll be rejected. So what is the brilliant, tragic strategy the child devises?
I'll leave first.
Bingo. You quit before you can get fired. You break up with them before they can break up with you. You empty the room before anyone has a chance to empty you.
And that's the foundation of the empty city.
Yes. You build a world where you're the only resident, because that's the only way to guarantee you never have to face being sent away.
Wow. So this whole spooky, silent city, it's a fortress. It's a giant do not disturb sign made of cobblestones, safety at the cost of connection.
A fortress disguised as a ghost town. It looks like you're a victim of isolation, but you're actually the guard at the gate.
That is a hard pill to swallow. As we walk deeper into this fortress, knowing we built it, we start seeing these objects lying around. You called them residues before.
They're never random.
There's a chalk drawing on the pavement, a circle with lines coming out of it.
The primitive sun. Or a face. Face with too many eyes.
And you get the sense that you drew it last night.
This is the primal fantasy of being possessed. Not in a demonic way, but the desire to be gathered up. To belong to someone else entirely, like a child belongs to a parent. We spend our lives fighting for independence, but that chalk drawing, it's a part of us just wants to be held.
Which is pretty taboo for an adult to admit.
Which is why it's chalk. Temporary. Easily washed away.
Then there's a scarf caught on a fence. But when you get close, it's not a scarf, it's hair,
Her hair.
smelling of soap and earth.
A direct sensory link to the mother figure. It connects to that loss of safety when a parent's focus turns elsewhere. The memory is sensory because it was formed before you had words. The smell of soap. That's the language of safety.
There's also a phonograph on a balcony, silent, but the needle is trembling.
The vibration of a lullaby.
Yeah.
Again, it's pre-verbal. When you hold a baby and hum, they feel the vibration in their chest. That phonograph is holding the sensation of comfort without the actual sound.
So these are the needs we tried to pave over.
Exactly. The city is shedding them like snakeskin. You're walking past them, acknowledging them, but not trying to fix them. You're just witnessing.
Witnessing. Okay. So we've walked the spiral, we've seen the evidence. Now we come to the end, the climax, a bridge.
The bridge over nothing.
It spans a chasm of pure night, and halfway across, you look down. You don't see stars, you see your own face in the darkness.
Just watching back. Not smiling, not crying, just watching. This is the breakthrough.
And then this line it lands like a gut punch.
Yeah.
The emptiness was never outside.
That is the whole point.
Yeah.
The city is the architecture of your own interior. We think of loneliness as something external. No one called, no one showed up. But this loneliness, this is a space we carved out inside ourselves.
We excavated the basement.
We carved it to hold what we couldn't bear to feel.
Then something physical happens. The dreamer feels a door inside their ribs, rusted shut, but it starts to tremble.
This is the beginning of integration.
Yeah.
And solution is fascinating. Usually, when we feel lonely, the advice is go out, call a friend, join a club.
Right. Fill the void. Get more people in here.
But here, no, absolutely not. The solution isn't to find other people to fill the city. The solution is to populate it with the exiled selves.
Exiled selves. What does that mean, practically?
It means the parts of you that you locked away. The needy child who wanted the lap, the awkward teenager afraid of rejection, the angry you. You built this city to hide them. Integration means unlocking their doors and letting them move back in.
So it's not about finding a partner, it's about being at home with your own cringe.
In a way, yes, it's an internal reunion. If you can sit in that room with the needy child and the awkward teen and not hate them, the city stops feeling empty. It reframes emptiness. It changes from a void, which is terrifying, to a vessel.
A vessel, like a cup waiting to be filled.
Or a clearing made by intention. Imagine a quiet cathedral. It's huge and empty, but it doesn't feel lonely. It feels full of purpose. That's the shift. You stop fighting the silence and realize it's there to let you hear your own heartbeat.
That is such a powerful shift from I am alone and it's sad to I have cleared this space to be with myself.
Exactly. You stop running from the silence and start inhabiting it.
So how does it end? We've crossed the bridge, found the rusted door, the dawn comes.
But notice the color. It's not a bright, happy sunrise. The light changes to that bruised gold again. It's soft, forgiving.
And the statue. The faceless woman, she turns her head.
Just a tiny movement, but it's massive. It means the frozen state, the paralysis is breaking. The exhibit of self-sufficiency is finally closing.
I love that phrase, the exhibit of self-sufficiency. Like we've been the curator of a museum called Look How Fun I Am All on My Own.
Look how I don't need anyone.
And then finally we're taking down the velvet ropes.
It summarizes the core message, really. This kind of loneliness is a structure we build to protect ourselves from risk. It's a defense mechanism. The empty city is safe. No one can hurt you there. But nothing grows on concrete.
And we can choose to stop maintaining it. We can let the grass grow through the cracks.
We can stop walking the spiral and just stand still and let whatever's behind that door in our ribs step out.
It's deep stuff. It really makes you look at your own moments of isolation differently. Is this bad luck or is this architecture?
That's the question.
Yeah.
And if it is architecture, then you hold the blueprints. You can renovate.
So as we wrap this deep dive, I want to leave you, the listener, with a challenge. We've talked about this geometry of avoidance and the doors we keep locked.
Right.
So here's the question. If you stopped walking those streets of avoidance in your own mind today, if you stopped deflecting and just unlocked that rusted door in your own internal city, what specific feeling, or maybe what specific memory, would be the first one to step out and meet you?
And the harder question.
Blank.
Would you be ready to meet it halfway?
That's the real work. Thanks for walking with us today.
It was a pleasure.